So now we have a over a squared plus 7a plus 12 minus a squared plus 9a plus 20. So the first thing we want to do is let's factor these denominators. So what multiplies to give you 12 and adds to give you 7, that's going to be a plus 3 and a plus 4. And then we need to look at what multiplies to give you 20 and add to give you 9. So that's going to be a plus 4 and a plus 5. So we've got those denominators factored. Now we need to figure out what's the greatest occurrence of each. So we're going to have a plus 3 times a plus 4 times a plus 5. And that's going to be our new denominator. And then over here we still need a plus 3 times a plus 4 times a plus 5. So if I look here, there's already an a, so I'm going to write that a. And if I look here, there's already a 3, so I'm going to write that 3. So now I need to figure out what I'm going to multiply by. Well, I see that I have a plus 3 and a plus 4, so that's there and there. So I now need in a plus 5 to match the denominator. Here I have a plus 4 and a plus 5, so I need an a plus 3 because that's what matches the denominator. So then I'm going to multiply out my numerators. So I have a squared plus 5a minus 3a because 3 times a, and then minus 9 because 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, and then I'm going to do that all over a plus 3 times a plus 4 times a plus 5. And when I look, I have a 5a minus a 3a at the top. So that's going to give me a squared plus 2a minus 9 over a plus 3 times a plus 4 times a plus 5. So that's going to be my answer because there's no number that multiplies to give me 9 and add to give me 2. Or excuse me, negative 9 and add to give me 2. So that's all I have for that one. So once you kind of get in the hang of it and get in the groove of it, then it gets a little bit easier. I want you to go ahead and try the next one on your own. And then after you've tried it on your own, then press play again so that you can see if you did it correctly. So here we have 5 over 6x minus 18, another subtraction problem, minus x minus 1 over 4x squared minus 14x plus 6. So I'm going to go ahead and factor the numerator of the first one. I can factor out a 6, and then I have x minus 3. And we know that 6 is a 2 times 3, so we just want to make sure we kind of keep that in our heads. For the other side, I can first factor out a 2. So I have 2 times 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. All right. So then I need to figure out, well, what multiplies to give me 6, because that's 2 times 3, and adds to give me negative 7. So that's going to be a negative 6 and a negative 1. So I have 2 times negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. So that's going to be x minus 3. And then negative 1 over 2 is going to give me 2x minus 1. So I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to write 2 times x minus 3 and then 2x minus 1. Okay, so remember I said we need to keep in mind that 6 is 2 times 3. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this 6 and write 2 times 3 because that's what's going to help us get our denominator. So the greatest occurrence of 2 is 2. The greatest occurrence of 3 is 3. And then I have an x minus 3. And then I have a 2x minus 1. So this is going to be my least common multiple. And so 2 times 3, 2 times 3 times x minus 3 times 2x minus 1. Go ahead and leave this not multiplied out because that's going to help you to figure out what you need when you are coming up with what goes in your numerator. Okay. So I have 2 times 3 times x minus 3, and then 2x minus 1. So I know I need a 5. I have a 2, I have a 3, I have an x minus 3, so I need 2x minus 1. Okay. On the other side, I know I have an x minus 1, and I have a 2. I don't have a 3. I have an x minus 3, and I have a 2x minus 1. So now I'm going to keep my denominator, and now we can multiply that denominator out. So we can have 6 times x minus 3 times 2x minus 1. And then in my numerator, I'm going to have, on this side, 10x minus 5. And this is a subtraction problem. So I'm going to have, let's multiply this out. I want to show you kind of what I'm doing in my head. So when I multiply it out, I have 3x minus 3 because that's distributing this 3. And then this is a subtraction problem, so that's going to make it minus 3x plus 3. And then 10x minus 3x is 7x. And negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. And that's going to be over 6 times x minus 3 times 2x minus 1. And so this is going to be my answer. So that one was kind of lengthy because we had to do some major factoring, but still pretty straightforward. So we're going to move on to the next one. Again, try the next one on your own. And if you feel like you struggle, then go ahead and watch the video. But try to do it before you push play so that you can make sure that you have the skill down.